Right, welcome to our second video on congruent triangles. Now, in the first video, we were looking at congruent shapes, and we said that if you have two triangles that are congruent, then it means that those triangles are just basically the same. One is just tilted, and we found out that there are four particular conditions that if the shapes you are comparing satisfy, then we can say that they are congruent. Okay. So the first condition is that if there's two triangles you have in front of you, if you have two sides that are the same with an angle between them the same, then they are congruent. For example, in this triangle and that triangle there, this angle theta there is between A and B, and likewise this angle theta here is between A and B. Because of that, these triangles are exactly the same thing, which means that if I measure this length and I measure this other length, they will just be exactly the same. Okay. Right, so the other condition is that the three sides would be equal. So you said side, side, side. It means that all the three sides are just equal. So if this is 5 centimeters, then that's going to be 5. If this is 4 centimeters, then that is 4 centimeters. If that's 3 centimeters, then that's 3 centimeters. The three sides are just equal. In that case, those triangles are congruent. They're exactly the same thing. Now, the other condition is that you could have two angles and a corresponding side. Okay. Now, so if I have this angle theta there and this other angle here, and that angle theta and that angle there, if I have them being equal, so if this is 40, that's 40. If this is 30, that is 30. If that's the case, and I also have corresponding side, this A side being equal to that A side, then these two triangles are basically just congruent. Now, how do I know the corresponding side? To find the corresponding side, pick one angle. For example, if I pick this one here, and look for the side that is opposite it. This side is A. Now, in the same diagram, in the other diagram, go to the same angle here and look for the side that is opposite to it. If it's the same length as the other one, those are the corresponding side. Okay. So if I want to find the side that corresponds to this, what I'm going to see is that this side is opposite this angle theta. So I go to this diagram here and I look for angle theta, and is a side opposite to it. So this side here corresponds to that side. Okay. Now, if I want to see which side corresponds to this other one here, okay, now this side here is opposite this angle that they've not marked. So I'm going to go to this other angle they've not marked, and it is the side that is opposite here. So this side will be opposite to that. So the condition is that if you have any two angles and any corresponding sides equal, then they are congruent. The last one is if you have a right angle triangle. As long as you have a right angle triangle, this and the other one, and the hypotenuse is the same, and any other side, they don't have to be corresponding, any other side are the same, then these two triangles are just the same thing. We say that they're congruent. What I want you to do now is to pause the video and try question 2. They are asking you to tell whether the pairs of triangles here are congruent or not. You must come up with the reasons why they are congruent or not congruent. Okay, so pause the video and try them quickly. Okay, hope you've tried that. Now, with the first one, I can see that I've got angle 50 there, and this angle 50 is made up between these two sides here. So the side 4 centimeters and the side 4 centimeters make up the angle 50. Likewise, this one, the angle 50 is made from these two sides. So I am having two sides and an angle between them that are the same. Okay, so the two sides I'm talking about here, the 4 and 4, and they make up the angle in between them. So therefore, these two triangles here are congruent. Now with this one here, I'm going to look for, first there are two angles, so I can put A and A. A and A means there are two angles which are the same. So I'm starting to think that they are congruent. But remember, in this third rule, we say that you must have corresponding side as well. So you have to have AAS. AAS means you have two angles that are the same and any side that's corresponding. So yes, I've got 50 here and 50 there, and I've got 55 there and 55 there, but I'm going to need to check for corresponding sides. I'm going to look at this 5. This 5 is opposite 55, right? So in this other triangle, I'm going to look for the side that is opposite 55. And if they're not the same, then this is not going to work. So this rule doesn't work for them because the two sides I'm talking about, they're not equal. The corresponding side here to 55 is this. I mean, the corresponding sides we are talking about here is the 5 centimeters and the 3 centimeters. Why are they corresponding? Because they are opposite 55. They are both opposite 55. but this is 3 and that's 5. So therefore, this rule doesn't apply to them. Okay, so B is they're not corresponding. Now let's look at C. Now see here, I've got two sides making up this angle here, and I've also got the very two sides. So I can be talking about side and side, and I need to check whether the angle between them is the same. So then I can conclude. So this is 80 here, is the angle in between the 10 and the 7. Now the 10 and the 7 here, so I need to work out what this angle in here. Now this is 40, that's 60. So that's going to be 80 because angles in a triangle add up to 180. So the two sides I'm talking about here is the 10 and the 7. And again, here is the 10 and the 7. And the angle in between them is the same. So therefore, is the side, angle, and side. Two sides that are the same with an angle between them. So that one is congruent. The last one. Right, so this one we're going to look at, what have I got here? I've got two angles. Okay, so I've got two angles there, 28 and 92 and 28 and 92. And I need to find corresponding side. I'm going to be looking at this line here, and I want to find the corresponding side to it there. Now, this line is opposite 92 degrees. So I'm going to go to 92 degrees, and I'm going to look for the side that's opposite. And of course, it's 9. So therefore, because I've got two angles that are the same, and I've got the corresponding side being the same, so therefore these ones are congruent. Okay, so the corresponding side is the 9 and the 9. How do I know that? Because they're opposite 92 degrees, so therefore they're corresponding sides. And I've also got two angles that are the same. Okay, so if you wanna pause the video quickly and mark your answer, pause the video and mark your answer. Okay, so that's well done. Right, so hope you got that right. So what I want to do now is very quickly, if you want to pause the video and try this, pause the video and try this quickly. Okay, hope you try that. Question E is quite straightforward. The three sides are equal, so therefore they are congruent. So that is S, 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 side, side, side. They are all equal. So the 4 under 4, 3 under 3, 2 under 3. As long as the three sides are equal, these triangles are congruent. S, S, S is the condition. Okay. Right, so I'm going to pick one at random quickly for you. I'm going to pick H. If I pick H here, first of all, I've got right angle triangle, this one. I need to check whether this one is right angle triangle. I need to check that. And how I can check is to do 41 plus 49. If you add those two together, the answer is going to be 90. So which means that this is 90. So the first thing I have right angle triangle. So that is right angle triangle. The other thing I need to see is if I've got the hypotenuse which is the same. Of course, hypotenuse is the same. So that is H. Then I'm going to look for any side that will be equal. So this is 21 centimeters, and that's also 21 centimeters. So this is SRH. So SRH or RRHS is the same thing. It means that if I've got right angle in both of them, and the hypotenuse are the same, and the other side, any other side are equal, then they are basically corresponding. So this 21 here would go with that 21 there. They don't have to be corresponding, right? So this 21 would have been here, it doesn't really matter. So because of that, they are equal. Right, so let me pause the video quickly, and if you just mark your work very fast, so pause the video, and if you just mark your work now. Okay, hope you done well on that. So well done for this.